guys, welcome back to my channel. Or if you're a new viewer, hi. Thank you so much for coming by to hang out with me today. So today's video, I kind of sat here for a little while trying to figure out exactly what I was going to film. I've got several things that I've been wanting to film, and I have days where I just don't know where to get started. And I've got all these ideas going in my head, and I just sit here. And instead of filming, I just sit here. Does anybody else do that? Any fellow creators out there get so overwhelmed? You just end up not doing anything at all? That's been my day. However, I do have something really exciting that I want to share with you guys today. So a good friend of mine here on YouTube, Brit Clarke, recently collabed with BK Beauty brushes to form her own brush bundle. I'm so incredibly excited for Brittany. I'm so happy for her, and I think that if anybody was deserving of anything like this, it is most definitely her. So that's what I'm going to be doing in today's video. I'm going to be using BK Beauty's brush bundle with Brit Clarke, as well as using products that are in my collection, nothing new, just coming up with a look for you guys. So before we jump into this video, if you're not already subscribed to my channel and you like makeup and beauty content, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button before leaving today. Also, ring that notification bell while you're at it so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Let's get into this video. I did want to give you just a little bit of information about BK Beauty and the founder of BK Beauty. So this company was founded by Lisa J here on YouTube and on Instagram. Actually, I think her handle is Lisa J Makeup. She's somebody that I've been following for a couple of years now, and I really enjoy watching her content. So when you're on her website reading about their mission, it says, driven by a passion for beauty and mission of kindness, BK Beauty creates makeup products and tools that offer a luxurious feel with flawless performance. We help make application effortless and inspire creativity while celebrating beauty inside and out. With every purchase, a donation is made to inspire kindness. I really like that she has such a positive message and that she gives back to the community. So that's just one of the reasons why I like this brand. I have already tried some of their brushes I got like a month or so ago. I have the 101 Contoured Foundation Brush, which I have been really enjoying. It's really good for applying a cream foundation or a liquid foundation. I also ordered at that time 2 eye brushes. I had the 202 brush, which is like a blending brush. And then I also had the 203 brush. This one is more of like I wouldn't really call it a shader, but you can buff eyeshadow in with this one, and I really like this one as well. But when it comes to Brit Clarke's bundle, I wanted to share the entire bundle with you guys as well as use in this video. So the first brush that I have here is the 106 foundation brush. So they do have 2 different options in this bundle. They have this foundation brush, which is like a flat top. It's pretty dense, but it's also a little bit fluffy. And then of course, if you don't want that one, you can substitute that for the 101 brush, which is the one that I just showed you. Since I already had the 101, I went ahead and got the 106 with this bundle. So the second brush in this set is the 104 tapered powder brush, and it's just a really fluffy tapered brush. So this is going to be good for either setting your face with loose powder. I plan on using this more for like bronzer. You can even use it for like blush, contouring, anything where you would have like a tapered fluffy brush. So I'm excited to try this out. I haven't actually tried this one yet. It also comes with the 201 blended crease brush, which looks like this. Now I will be honest with you, I normally don't use crease brushes that are this big because I have really hooded eyes, and you can just see when I do like this, it takes up like my entire eye. Now I feel like this might be good for something that's really soft and diffused if I wanted to make my eye look very like blown out and just more diffused. I could use this as like a clean blending brush to go back over, make it, make sure there's no harsh edges or whatever. So haven't exactly figured out how I'm going to use this one yet, but nonetheless, I'm excited to try it. The next brush is the 202 defined crease brush. So this one, again, another eye brush, but this one is more tapered up top, as you can see. So this one will get right in that crease area to blend. Perfect for that. This is definitely one that I can use, and I have tried this one. This was one of the eye brushes that I did pick up, a month ago when I bought my brushes for the first time. So I ended up giving my backup to my daughter because she likes to do her makeup too, and I know she'll really like this brush. And the last brush in this bundle is the 207 pencil brush. So this is going to be something that's good for if you want to smoke out your lower lash line. You can get right up under there and smoke that out. You could even, I would say, do like detailed blending with this if you really wanted to, but I will probably use this primarily for underneath the lash line. So again, those are the 5 brushes that you get with Brit Clarke's Basics brush set. The set costs $95. Right now, I believe like since it's a bundle, it's at a discounted rate. But you can use Brit's code BRITCHES10 to get an extra 10% off. And when you do that, it's going to knock it down to $85.50 before shipping. So to get good quality brushes, ones that are going to last a long time, ones that are going to be not only made well, but also, you know, if they're donating a portion of what you purchase to help other people, to give back to the community, I feel like the money is well spent. So again, I'm going to demo these today in this video for you guys. I'm excited to get started. Let's play with some not so new makeup. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is apply some Pores No More primer from Dr. Brandt. This is one of my favorite primers at the moment. It does really well with oily skin, and my friends, have oily skin. So this is kind of my go-to at the moment. And I hesitated, like I almost used something else for this video, just because I use this all the time. And I couldn't bring myself to do it. Sorry. So I bought this brush bundle primarily because I wanted to support my friend Brit. I really like, again, I like BK Beauty. I like what they stand for. I really like their brushes, but I really wanted to support my friend. I was super excited that she had the opportunity to collab with such an awesome brand. And I had to stand behind that. And I'm so excited for you, Brit, if you happen to see this video. Congratulations. I'm just super stoked that you had this opportunity. And I feel like this was also a really good opportunity for BK Beauty. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer, this little jar here. I've had it for a long time. I got it on the recommendation of Tati. Actually, I noticed there's a lot of stuff I have in my collection that was on the recommendation of Tati. And I don't ever use it because it wasn't my favorite, but I want to try it again. I want to see if maybe I apply it more minimally, if I like it more. So I'm just going to start pressing that into the pore area here. The girl's got lots of pores on her nose. Alright, we'll see if that actually does anything. So if you're familiar with Brit Clarke, I am going to link her channel down below so you guys can go check her out if you're not familiar with who she is. But I'm going to use one of her techniques today, which is doing her concealer first. So normally during my routine, I'll put foundation on first and then I'll put on concealer. Brit does it the other way. She puts on concealer first. So I'm going to try that in today's video, just, you know, in her honor, and just see what I think about it. I don't know if I've ever done this before, as far as like with the under eyes. Like I've done spot concealing before foundation. I don't know about like the under eye concealer, so we're going to see how this goes. So again, today I'm going to be using just a hodgepodge of products, stuff that either I don't use a whole lot, or some of them could be staple items. I just wanted to play around. So I'm going to be just using a little bit of my Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. I love this concealer. It's perfect because it's like my perfect shade match. So I'm going to be covering up some of like this mess right here, some of my discoloration. I also have the Cover FX Power Play Concealer that I never use, like ever, so I'm going to use that. For brightening, I might dip into my Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer from Too Faced. Hodge, Pidgety Podge. I'm just going to be doing a little bit of everything here. So let me try to do one of these numbers. Cover that up first. I mean, we got a lot going on. Per usual. I do like how blurred my face looks right now. I don't know if it's because of the Dr. Brandt or the Tarte, but I'm digging it. Whatever. While that's chillin', I'm gonna go ahead and take the Too Faced concealer. Again, this is very odd for me because I typically don't do my concealer in this fashion, but we're doing it today. I'm just gonna take a little beauty blender here that's got fuzz all over it. That's nice. This is gonna be very strange. Brit doesn't really do like the whole snatched look like I do. Don't get me wrong. She looks freaking flawless when she gets done. But I usually am pretty dramatic, like with my contour and all that stuff. Her looks always look a little bit more natural than mine. We just have a little bit of a different style, I guess. It's a little creepy looking. I'm just trying to cover up some of this redness with this concealer. I just put down the Cover FX concealer. Forgot to say that as I was putting it down. Whoops. Okay, I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stop there. It's looking pretty nuts. And I'm going to start mixing together foundations. So I have several foundations in front of me today that I'm going to just kind of mix together and hope for the best. I have the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue foundation. This is a really good matte foundation. I have the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. I have the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection foundation. And then I also have my beloved tried and true Estee Lauder Double Wear, which is like my heavy duty, long wearing, make it last foundation. So what I do is I typically mix more of the Estee Lauder foundation in than anything else. I'll do like a good solid like 2 pumps of that. At least 2 or 3 pumps. And then I'll mix in like a pump of each of the other ones. I know. I don't know if there's any real like results behind the madness, but I think there are in my head. It's all that matters. So I met Brit through her live chats. Her lives are such a good time. If you enjoy being part of like a live group chat and watching just some makeup content, and you're looking for somebody that is very down to earth and personable and will actually take the time to talk to you, and somebody that has great taste in makeup, you need to check out Brit Clarke's lives. Having the kind of busy lifestyle that I do, I don't really have too much time for friends in real life, as crazy as that sounds, but it's so easy to get online and chat with somebody, especially if you guys share that common interest, which, you know, is makeup. So, okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take the 106 foundation brush. So again, this is like their flat top foundation buffer brush, and we're going to buff this foundation in and see what it does. I have not used this brush yet, so this will be a first impression with you guys, but I'm excited. So I'm just going to start dabby dabby do. We're going to dab some on. And we'll see what happens here. I'm trying to keep the foundation layer kind of light since I put down all of that concealer. I'm hoping that I can do that. This seems to me like more of like a stippling kind of foundation brush. I don't really like buffing foundation in so much, like swirling it around, because I feel like it makes your foundation really streaky when you do that. So I'd kind of rather like tap it in like I'm doing. So far so good. Now I do like to drag it down the neck. We want to be at least semi-matched up when you get to the neck area. I think that's done a fantastic job blending that in. That was super simple, really easy to do. So when it comes to picking which foundation brush you want with this bundle, it's really going to be personal preference. If you like something that's a little bit more dense and something that can double as like a contour brush, or I don't know, like the other one just has more of a dense head on it. This one's a little bit more fluffy, but still really great for stippling. So I don't know which one I like better yet. Now when it comes to the forehead area, I don't have as much like discoloration and blemishes up top. So I try to keep the foundation layer super light up here because I do have a lot of fine lines and wrinkling, and I don't want all that to get settled and look even worse. So I just keep a really light layer on my forehead, enough to where it matches the rest of my face. And I think this brush does really good for that purpose. It keeps it so it's not so, I don't know, thick when you lay it down. It really does a good job stippling it in and kind of keeping it a little bit more of like a light layer. I mean, obviously, if we put a lot of foundation down, it's going to be heavier. But I feel like this does a good job keeping it light without being like splotchy. Yeah, I really like that. That looks really good. I don't think that looks too terribly awful with the concealer done first. I do usually take the Bye Bye Under Eye from IT Cosmetics underneath my eyes because it helps to make it a little bit more, I don't know, like lifelike, not as crepey looking. Okay, so I am going to put a little bit of that Bye Bye Under Eye underneath my eyes. I just have to. I have to keep it looking fresh. Funky fresh. Now keep in mind, this brush bundle with Brit is not all of their brushes. It's just 5 brushes that she picked out that she loves. So if there's like brushes that you feel like you need to add in with that, you can always order more. She just picked out a good like starter brush set if you're just getting into BK Beauty brushes. Definitely use her code though, so you get a discount. Starting to get hot. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is take a stick contour, and I'm going to use that to kind of bring these cheekbones back, because look a little ghostly at the moment. The one I'm using is the Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Fawn, And this is a really good tone for my skin tone, for that like shadow type of shade. So I'm going to just place it right here. I don't want it to be crazy. I don't know why I said crazy like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend that like upward like this. We're going to stipple and blend up. I like creating that illusion that I have these really sharp cheekbones. I mean, I have prominent cheekbones anyway, but I really like to emphasize that. I don't know why. It's my thing. I like it. Now I am going to set my face when I get done, so I don't know how much you're really going to see the contour and whatnot, but I feel like it just adds that extra layer. So I like to do it, even though sometimes I feel like it's kind of pointless. Do one of them numbers. I'm going to take my Stay Naked Correcting Concealer from Urban Decay, because this one is super light. And I'm going to place just a little bit of it, like right here. I mean, very little bit. And I'm going to try to blend that out to where it just brightens up the middle here. Kind of like that. So now I'm going to take the Tarte Breezy Cream Bronzer. This is like their little miniature size version of this. I really like this bronzer. I like the formula of it. It doesn't come off like too sticky or tacky. It does set down pretty well, and that's what I like about this. So I'm going to go ahead and bronze up really quickly. I'm going to use that same Chikuhodo brush. I just like this brush for bronzing. Okay, something that I wanted to use today that I haven't used in a really long time is my Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. So I'm excited to use this setting powder with the 104 brush. Now typically the brush that I use to set my face is the Sonia G Face Pro, and it's really fluffy and it's huge. Like, this is the kind of brush I typically like to use. I feel like this one here is more of like bronzer, blush, something like that. But I feel like you could also use it to set your face with powder. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do now. I'm just going to dip into that Laura Mercier powder. I'm going to start setting my face with that. I don't really like to swirl powder on until I've actually set it down. Oh, that works. I was a little worried it was going to be like too floofy. I kind of like that. I actually really like that as a setting brush. It's different from what I'm used to. Like I said, usually I like something that's a little bit more fluffy. This is a little more tapered than what I would typically go for a setting brush. But it's definitely doing the trick. The next thing I'm going to do is do a little bit of deepening up of this contour line, like ever so slightly, because I feel like this isn't too bad. I don't want it to be too over the top. But I'm going to take a little bit of the Urban Decay Naked Skin Shapeshifter, and it's the shade right down here, so it's just this contour shade. I mean, like a pinch, a smidgen. Okay, I'm going to take, like, I'm looking at the BK Beauty brushes that I have, and since I use this for foundation, maybe I can use this one, the powder brush. I'll try to do that. I'll try to take the 104 brush and dip it into a little bit of that contour powder. I'm just going to like pinch the tip of the brush here to try to make it a little bit more defined. I really don't want this to be too out of control. Okay, now I'm going to take my L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It Bronzer. This one's in the shade Light. And I'm going to go in with the same brush, that BK Beauty 104. And I'm just going to kind of tappy tap. And we're going to sweep it up on the cheeks here. This is a really good drugstore bronzer. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to do to my face before we move over to the eyes is the blush. So the blush I wanted to use in this video is the LA Girl Just Blushing Blush. This one is in the shade Just Peachy. It's a really beautiful peachy, like sheeny type of blush. It's really, really pretty. So out of this brush bundle, the only one that I'd be able to do like blush with, well, two. I could use the 104, which is the same one I did bronzer, set my face, Or I could use the 106, which is the foundation. But if you're going to use a foundation brush like this to use blush, I would use a blush that's very like lightly pigmented, one that really takes some building. This blush from LA Girl is not that type of blush. It's rather pigmented, so I don't want to use such a dense brush or I'm going to have major clown cheeks. So we're not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and use the same 104 brush, the same one I did my bronzer, my powder. I can also use this for blush. So I'm just trying to show you guys how versatile this brush is. You can do quite a bit with it. So I'm dipping into that blush. We're going to give her a tap. And I'm going to just start like tapping it on here on the cheekbones. Like lightly blend forward. I want most of the pigment to be back here. Okay, so I went ahead and primed my lids with the P. Louise base. This one is in the shade Rumor 0.5. Throw on some eyebrows. That way that's done. That's not a struggle I have to deal with today with you guys. Although if you're interested in watching a full brow routine, I did film that. I will link it above. If it's already out, you guys can check it out. I just didn't want to have to, lengthen this video by about 20 minutes doing the brows. Okay, so I wanted to go with something that was like green and a little bit smoky and a little bit grungy. So that's what I'm going to be doing today is a green, grungy, maybe smoky eye. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. So I'm going to be using several different palettes to achieve this look. Milk Cosmetics Smoke Sessions? Sure. Smoke Sessions palette from Milk Cosmetics. I want to use that really grungy green, that matte. This one right here. And then the last palette that I pulled out was from Makeup Geek. And this is a singles palette that I put together a long time ago. And I'm thinking maybe about using like this matte shadow here, maybe this grungy green up here. I'm not really too sure. But then on the inner corner of my lid, I want to use a Divina shadow. This one is in Celesta. It's a really beautiful, shifty, yellowish green shade. And it is stunning. So that's what I'm going to be doing on the eyes. I'm going to start off by taking the BK Beauty 207 brush. So this is that pencil brush I was telling you guys about. Now, again, I would typically use this for smoking out the lower lash line, but you can also use this if you're doing an eye look like I am. You can build up that crease area with a really pigmented dark shade first, and then you can buff out that area with a more fluffy brush. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do for this look. So the first shade I'm dipping into is Sour Diesel from the Smoke Sessions palette from Melt. And I'm going to go ahead and start packing that right in the crease area. So I haven't used this brush at all yet. This is going to be like a first impression on this brush here. Ooh, buddy. I'm also going to pack some of that out on that outer edge here. So far, so good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start dragging this color forward just a little bit. I don't want it to be super pigmented on this inner portion of my lid because that's where I'm going to put that really pretty shimmer. So I'm just going to very lightly drag this color forward. Might have gone up a little too far with that. Okay, we'll see. So the next shade that I'm going to dip into, I think I want to take this like darker brown here and use that to kind of diffuse the outside edges, I guess. I don't know. So I'm taking that same 207 brush and I'm going to place it half on and half off of that green. And then I'm going to do the same thing and drag a little bit of it forward here. Just slightly. So I'm going to take my Morphe M507. It's just really tapered on the end there. And I'm going to use that to dip into this lighter brown shade in this Makeup Geek palette. And I'm going to kind of diffuse the edge of that to make it look a lot softer than what it does. Because right now, it's pretty intense. I know this is not using the BK brush, but I have to have something a little bit more diffused and soft. And the other brushes, I won't be able to. You know what? I just realized I didn't use my crease brush. Maybe I can use this to go around the edges when I get done. We'll see. Okay, I think I'm going to take that BK Beauty 202 brush. It is clean. And I'm going to try to go around the edge real quick and see if I can get it to be more diffused. I'm a little worried because I just normally don't do this. I don't know if that's really doing what I want it to do. I'm going to go back in with my Morphe M507 and that lighter brown. And I'm just going to kind of go around the edges here. Okay, I think that's about as good as I'm going to be able to get it without really jacking it up too bad. Okay, I think what I want to do now is take this shade here from Makeup Geek. I'm sorry I don't know the names. I guess I could pop them out of the palette, but I don't feel like doing all that. Just being honest. And I'm going to start packing this on the outer edge, and then I'm going to build up that really beautiful shade from Divina on the inner corner. I'm going to take the Multitasker Mixing Medium from NYX to like carve out like I would be doing a cut crease, and then I'm going to lay that beautiful shimmer shade down on top. I just squirt a little dollop on the back of my hand, and that's how we're going to do this. I'm going to use a Morphe M124. I don't have a brush out of this bundle that I could use for this purpose, so I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use my finger first, just to pack some of this color down. And then I'm going to take the brush and use that to get up close to where I carved it out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and repeat that on the other eye, then we'll smoke out that lower lash line, and maybe we'll finally complete this look. Now I'm going to take that same 207 brush to smoke out that lower lash line. I really like the way this has turned out so far. I definitely have that green grungy vibe that I was going for. So I'm picking up Sour Diesel, it's that dark green out of the Milk Cosmetics palette, and I'm going to start smoking her out. Okay, now that I have that bottom kind of smoked out with that dark green, I want to take that lighter brown and a more like fluffy brush to kind of finish smoking that out. So I'm going to take that Morphe M507, dip into that Makeup Geek shade, that light brown, and we're just going to trace underneath of it, I guess. Alright, so this is the finished look after I added lipstick and some mascara, a little bit of eyeliner, a little bit of inner corner highlight. Finally finished. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know what I used to finish the look, and then we will go over what I think about the Brit Clarke and BK Beauty brush bundle. So for the lips, I took the Propa Beauty lipstick in the shade Finesse. It is currently my favorite lipstick from that line, just because I feel like this is the one that best suits my skin tone. And I think that it really matched this eye look really well. It's just a really beautiful, it's a brown nude, but it's got like a very slight pink undertone to it. So I really love this one. That's what's on the lips. So to line my lips, I use the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Curvy. Been using kind of that combo. It works really nicely together. What else did I do? For my inner corner highlight, I used the shade Luxe. This is from Cleona Cosmetics. It is a beautiful, like shifty, white, iridescent. It shifts yellow and green, and there's even some like blue in there. It is so, or teal, whatever it is. It's stunning. It's gorgeous. I love this. This is like my new favorite inner corner highlight shade. For the lashes, I use the Benefit Roller Lash. This has kind of been like my go-to mascara here lately. I don't know what it is about this mascara. I like the way it curls my lashes. I like the length that it gives me, so I really love this. For my lower waterline, I use the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Eyeliner in the shade Screamin'. It's just a yellow neon eyeliner. I love these eyeliners from LA Girl. I've raved about them numerous times before on my channel, so this is nothing new. You guys have heard me talk about these before. They're amazing. That is the finished look. So let's bring it back in and talk about the BK Beauty and Brit Clarke brush bundle. Now everything else that's on my face in this video I will link down below. That way you guys can find it if you're interested in buying these items, or If it's just something that maybe you want to look at on the website, whatever, I will link it down below. Just know if you do decide to purchase anything from my links down below, they will be marked with an asterisk if they are affiliate links. If they're affiliate links, it means that I will earn a small commission if you decide to purchase something by using my link. If you do, it's no extra cost to you. It's just a small kickback for me for taking the time to link that product in my description box. So if you decide to use my links, I just want to say thank you in advance. It helps my channel out. It helps for me to put money back into my channel. That way I can review more products for you guys. Okay, let's talk about the BK Beauty and Brit Clarke basic brush set. So the first one that I want to talk about is the 207, the pencil brush. I got quite a bit of use out of this brush. I used it to build up that crease area with a dark crease shade. I feel like it's really good for that purpose and also for smoking out the lower lash line. This is not a brush that you can get like really diffused looks with. I mean, I guess you could if you really took your time, but this bad boy is best suited if you're really trying to pack on color or if you're trying to smoke out the lower lash line. Okay, the next brush in that bundle is the 106 foundation brush. I really like this brush. Actually, I might even venture to say I like it better than the 101 foundation brush that I have from BK Beauty. Reason being, this one, the first one, I've noticed if I use it a couple times in a row without washing it, it gets a little too floofy for me. That's my problem. I shouldn't be a dirty bitch. I should wash my brushes more often. I know. But I like this one because I literally had no streak marks. Like, it blended my foundation into my skin seamlessly. So I'm really excited to keep using this in the future. I'm glad that I decided to pick up this bundle with this option, and 10 out of 10 recommend this 106 brush. I think it's fantastic. Alright, the next brush in this bundle is the 201. I didn't actually end up using this brush. This one is just not a brush that's going to be very well suited for my eye shape because I have very hooded eyes and it's extremely fluffy. Now maybe I can use this for like a highlighting brush. Let's try it. I didn't even put highlighter on yet. I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlighter. I don't know, maybe it'll work for this. I'm just going to kind of do one of these numbers where I get it on the side here. I don't want it to be too crazy. I don't know if it's well suited for this or not. We're just experimenting, I guess. Okay. I mean, it works. Brittany also has hooded eyes like I do, and she loves this brush, so maybe she's just better with a fluffier, like a bigger brush. I work a lot better with a smaller, tapered brush, so that's just me, but I definitely will still get some use out of this brush. I can do exactly what I'm doing right now and use it as a highlighting brush. Or again, like I said earlier in the video, if I want a more diffused, blown out look, maybe I'm going for like a one color look with like a pastel shade or just lightening up any shade around the edges, I can use this brush to go around and just kind of make something very diffused with it. Okay, the next brush that I want to talk about is my 104 like fluffy powder brush, the tapered brush. I got a lot of use out of this. I used it to set my face with powder. I used it to contour. I used it for blush. I used it for bronzer. There are a lot of ways you can use this brush. It's very multi-purpose. So if you're looking for something like that, this would be a very good investment. If you're not planning on getting the entire bundle, I would say this is the brush that you'd probably be able to get the most use out of. So really glad I have this. Excited to keep using this one in the future. Okay, last but not least, my 202 brush. Now, again, I didn't really use this in this video. I went around the edge a little bit on this eye and I didn't really like what it was doing, but I have used this brush in the past. This is a brush that I picked up prior to getting this brush bundle, so I knew that I already liked it. I can use it to get a really diffused crease. I can really buff out that, transition area with this brush, and it works really well for that. Again, I'm somebody that really likes that tapered, fluffy brush, so it's right up my alley. It's the perfect size. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's just right. So I'm really glad to have this one in my collection as well. And I would say overall, this brush bundle was pretty much a home run. I mean, the only brush that I'm not going to get a whole lot of use out of was that fluffier brush, and it's okay. You know what I mean? We're not all going to like the same things. We're not all going to be in love with every single thing that we try, so it's not a flop. It's just not my favorite brush for my eye shape. So I want to know down below, do you guys have this brush set, this Brit Clarke BK Beauty brush set? Let me know. Let me know if you watch Brit Clarke. If you do, How did you guys meet? Let's start a conversation down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love having those little conversations with you. If you've made it this far in the video and you're not already subscribed to my channel, please take the time to hit that subscribe button. Stick around for a while, become part of my little crazy YouTube family. I would love to have you. Also, ring that notification bell, that way you don't miss any of my future uploads, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.